Well, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. This feels very monotone because I am so freaking sick and tired of my third party live streaming app that I'm going to name it. I'm going to name names because I'm tired of this. Be live, do better. Please do better because I don't understand why I have to jump through hoops of fire to get you to work. And the one time that I tested it this week, I tested it. And it was working fine, and I was able to do my cute little lower thirds and my overlay and my cute little like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, etc. And everything worked perfectly on, I believe it was Wednesday that I did this. So you can check it out. You can check out the testing video in which I talk a little bit about my trapper keeper that I got because, please sell me my childhood, sell me my nostalgia for Pete's sake. I'm happy to pay adult money for a trapper keeper. So I showed you Mr. Trappy. And it worked perfectly on both the Book of Face and the two of you. Everything was fine. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So I don't need to pre-schedule anymore. If this is going to work, then I'm just going to go ahead and, set everything up right before I go live on Fridays. And wouldn't you know it, I think that everything's fine. And it's not fine. I can't pre-schedule. I can't do the live. Like tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. And then every time I reach out, they're closed because at the time that I'm doing my live stream, no one's open for business. So I had poured out a bourbon to enjoy while I talk to you guys about the Linestrider Tarot and recap the Linestrider Tarot after using it for the last month. Now, I did use this tarot deck about 8 years ago, and I'm just like, why did I put it away? Like, why did I put it down? And I'm just like, I really like this deck. Like, I'm gonna revisit it, and I'm also going to do an unboxing for it because I had never done an unboxing for it before because that was before I had started my live stream. So I did the unboxing for it, and we will be talking about like what I like about the deck, what I don't like about the deck, and we will be test driving one of the 5-card spreads that they have in the companion book, The Linestrider's Journey. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Hello, Fran. Welcome. I wish I could show your comment on the screen. I don't know if you're hearing my rants. I think I also posted over to the Book of Face as well to let people know, like, hey, I'm going to try this again. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to go live on YouTube and just bare bones it again. But like this is annoying, especially because I pay for Be Live. I pay for the third party streaming service to make it all nice and professional and pretty. And I don't think I'm an idiot. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I've done everything that they have said to do in their troubleshooting article, and yet it's still not working. And I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done paying for this. So when the renewal comes up, I will not be renewing. And, if they have a free service, then it's a free service. And I'll maybe only do the live stream 3 times a month instead of, every Friday, because that's what'll get me the most bang for my buck, which is nothing, because I'd rather pay for something that works than pay something for, I don't know, nothing. Nothing's worth it. Can you tell that I'm angry? I'm very angry. So anyway, I'm glad I have my bourbon. Oh, good. There's something. So Fran says there's something happening this week. It's not just you. But it's so weird, Fran, because like I tested it out on Wednesday, and I think you were like, I'm not sure. I think you were around for my little test drive on Wednesday, very briefly. It was not a long episode because it was simply to test drive it and be like, okay, I don't want to be unprepared on Friday night and feel completely flustered before I have to like go live and present something. And yet here I am again. It's 7:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm flustered and I'm mad and I'm like, yeah. Timmons Gray, welcome. So sorry to hear about the tech issues. Must be so frustrating. It really is. And like, I like Be Live and I would like to give them the business because like they make things all nice and polished and professional. Fran says it's the universe. Yeah, I mean, and I've been having issues as well with like, if you're familiar with following me on social media as well, Tarot by Hilary on most social media platforms, it has been taking me eons to post my card of the day. So I pull card of the day every day except for Sunday. Timmons Gray says, are we still in Mercury and Gatorade? No, we're not. We're not. So at the top of the episode, I usually will do the Astrobiz Digest, which I will. But no, Mercury went direct. I think, if not last week, the week before. So we're still in the shadow period. So the shadow period happens before Mercury goes retrograde and after it goes back direct again. But that is the excuse. Like, and I went out to talk to Mr. Tarot by Hilary, not now, but like earlier when I was complaining about my card of the day, and he was just like, Mercury and Gatorade. And I'm like, we can't blame Mercury and Gatorade for everything, even though even though it is. Fran says, it won't let go. Yeah, there's other stuff going on for sure. And I did take a look at the Astrobiz Digest prior to going live because I had some other stuff to do. Like I had to send out some invoices for some very exciting things coming up. Like I have, I'm booked at a movie theater to do readings for Practical Magic 2. So I'm very excited. So that's in September. So I'm like, and that came out of nowhere. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. And then I had to send out an invoice for my TAing for High Vibe Honey, which is the tapping membership that my tapping teacher, Gala Darling, runs. And so I'm the TA, one of 2 TAs for the next couple of months. So July, August, and September. And that is a paid TA position. So had to send that out. Yeah, Fran. Ooh, I know. And that came out of nowhere. And it's actually a movie theater that's very well known in the area. And I'm just like, me? I'm like, yeah. So I'm super excited about that. All right. So anyway, if you're new here, hello, my name is Hilary. I'm a professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. And we do this live stream every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for when it's 6:50 p.m. and then 6:55 p.m. because your damn third-party streaming app isn't working. On that note, hello, Katie. Welcome. Thank you for coming over here. So a couple of pillars of the Friday Night Lives are the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astrobiz Digest. So we usually do the main transits for the week, and then for the nitty-gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we do the topic of the episode. Tonight, we are recapping the Linestrider Tarot, the Linestrider Tarot deck, which is by Ciolo Thompson, that I've been working with, pulling card of the day pulls for the month of July, telling you what I liked about the deck, what I didn't like about the deck. And then we'll also test drive a 5-card tarot spread live on the broadcast. And we might do that with the mid-episode reading, which is another pillar of the live stream. One lucky viewer will win a free 3-card reading, or in this case, a 5-card reading live on the broadcast. So get ready, folks. The picker wheel is going to have to come out, which I had to do the last time, or almost do the last time. And then at the end of the episode, we'll do the weekend forecast, in which I pull an oracle card to get you into the energy of the weekend, prepared and not scared. So if that sounds good to everyone, please let me know in the chat. Again, this is going to be a bare bones episode. Won't have the bells and whistles and the lower thirds or anything like that, but at least we're doing that because that's what a professional does. Even though I'm very, very angry. Very, very angry. All right. So let us pull up the astrology from Teresa Reed's wonderful AstroBiz Digest. Oh, thank you, Timons Gray. Bare bones is A-okay. I'm so glad you agree. And most of you agree. I know you guys are here for the information and you're here for me. You're not here for the bells and whistles, because I was live streaming before the bells and whistles, and I will be live streaming long after the bells and whistles, I'm sure. So, but it makes me happy. As I was doing this experimentation on Wednesday, and I was pulling up I was playing in Canva, and I was pulling up different things for like, subscribe, click the bell. And so I found one, and I was able to put like my profile picture into it. And then I made it smaller because like it was in the middle of the screen. And so I made it smaller and I made it animated, and I had it in the lower left-hand corner. Or right-hand corner, depending on whether you're mirroring your screen. And it worked so well, and I wanted to show it off. And so that's what I did on Wednesday. I did a surprise episode just testing out some of those features to make sure it looked geometrically cool and good and centered in the frame. And now it's just like we're back to square one again. And I'm like, ugh. So it's good to know that I'm not the only one. As Fran said, there's something happening this week. It's not just you. Yeah. Also, by the way, last night I thought it was a new client, but they've actually come to me for a reading before, and I didn't remember, because sacred amnesia is a thing that you need to cultivate if you're a professional tarot card reader. Otherwise, you will go crazy. That information is not yours. Be the conduit, be the channel, deliver the information, and then forget about it, because that is not your information to keep. You are not a filing cabinet, as we say in Card Slingers Coast to Coast, which is the podcast that I co-host with Melissa Sonova and Jamie Elford. By the way, I think that happened again, but not as much as it did last night. So last night, I'm on a Zoom with my client, and like not even 10 minutes into the hour-long reading that was booked, my overhead light, or as we English say, the big light, went boom, boom, boom. And then I got connection unstable on the screen. And I'm just like, okay, before we move forward, I just need to tell you, this is what just happened. So, and we were having some weather yesterday too. And I'm just like, we're having some weather here. I don't know what happened, but that is different than the light bulb needs to be changed. I just want to let you know, if we happen to lose connection, I will email you and we will reschedule. You know, like you will have your reading, but like, I just want to let you know, in case it like craps out, this is what's going on. She was like, oh, okay, like not a problem. And fortunately, everything was okay. And then I didn't find out until later on, after I was like done with the reading and like sent it out and everything, and was relaxing in the living room. I like was scrolling through my phone, and then I got an alert saying there was like a transformer exploded. So fortunately, it was like, we didn't lose power here, but they lost power over that away. So I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, we've been going through it. It's true. It's not just me. It's nice to know that it's not just me. All right. So AstroBiz Digest. Okay. For the week of July 27th to August 2nd. Can we believe that we're in August already? Like today is the last day of July. That's nutty. So the only major cosmic event this week is the full moon in Aquarius on the 29th. So let's claim the full moon in Aquarius. This lunar delight is ideal for gathering with your team, celebrate wins, pat backs, and brainstorm the next quarter. Yay, team. It's also excellent for employee reviews, website cleanups, and community care. And I feel like that's what I was doing. So 31st, 30th, 29th. Yeah, I was doing that on the full moon. So I was doing my testing on the full moon in Aquarius. So employee reviews, website cleanups, community care. I was like doing some tweaking. So I guess I guess the full moon in Aquarius liked that because it no like now that I'm having to do this bare bones. Anyway, that's the major cosmic event for this week, full moon in Aquarius. Okay. All right. So today, Friday, July 31st, the moon is officially in Pisces at 8:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This energy is emo, artsy, and compassionate. Do good works, give back, make new content, and rest. It is here for the weekend. A moon Uranus square at 5:48 p.m. brings unforeseen obstacles and disruptions. You can say that twice. Um, why bother when it's so funky? Take the rest of the evening off and begin your mellow weekend early. I wish that I could. Power day for Pisces and a weekday for Virgo. Now, I mean, if I had read that sooner, which I did read, I preemptively did get a little read of that before I came on the live, but I'm just like real professionals, you know, like we can't, you know, especially during like Mercury retrograde, for example, 3 weeks through a 3-week stretch, it's affecting travel, technology, and communication. And it's advised not to sign contracts during that time, not to do anything like crossing your eyes, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, being very careful with your communication. Don't buy new technology at this time. Don't buy a new car at this time. Don't sign contracts at this time. But it's just like, we live in a world where some things cannot be delayed for 3 weeks at a time. So if you do have to do it, just have caution and double and triple check things before you have to do it. Same thing here. Yes, the astrology is funky, and Moon Uranus square does bring unforeseen obstacles and disruptions. Yes, but true professionals will be professional. And last week I had off because we went and ate conveyor belt sushi, which is very cool. It sounds unattractive and it sounds a little bit disgusting. It is not. It was awesome. Highly, highly recommend. But you know, that was Mr. Tarot by Hilary getting it in his head. Hey, do you have plans? Are you going to record tonight? Are you doing your live stream tonight? And I'm just like, well, I don't have to, but what do you have in mind so that I can then inform people I will not be doing the live stream. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to not do it 2 weeks back to back. So, and I guess this is my like reward question mark. Anyway. Okay. So that's the astrology for Friday. So we're in it right now. So let's blame the moon. What is it? Moon Uranus square at 5:48 p.m. That's what's going on here. Okay, for Saturday and Sunday, happy August. We're August 1st and 2nd, tomorrow and Sunday. Saturday is clear, which is fantastic if you want to get a leg up on creative work. Send out a newsletter or host a meeting over drinks when the moon trines Mercury at 10:59 p.m. Sunday begins with a void moon. If you haven't taken the time to chill, start now. Energy is elevated when the moon moves into Aries at 4:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. This lunation wants action, but that can wait until Monday, August 3rd. Both days, Saturday and Sunday, are power days for Pisces and weekdays for Virgo. In fact, all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are power days for Pisces and weekdays for Virgos. All right. Yes. Yeah. Katie says we call it sushi train in Australia. Choo-choo. Yeah. It's like, so the name of the chain, so I believe it is a chain, and I think it's only 2 locations around the area. So I think one location is in Scarsdale, New York, and the other location is in Flushing, Queens, I believe. And we had originally made plans to go to the Kura Sushi in Flushing because we were going to an event later on that night, and we tried to find parking and we could not get parking. It was crazy. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was nuts. All the parking lots were full, no street parking to be had. So we ended up going to a German beer hall instead, which was very, very nice. A good plan B. But we also, you know, like we were we were ready for that conveyor belt sushi experience. So that's why Mr. Tarot by Hilary in his head last Friday morning was just like, do you want to go to the one local to us and try it out? I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure. It's very cool concept. And then the soft drinks are brought out by a robot. Like that was cool too. And I don't know if you know this about me, even if I'm railing against technology, like for example, having to like raw dog the live stream with no bells and whistles. Um, most of the time, if I'm interacting with a piece of technology, I will say please and thank you. So you never know when the robot overlords are going to take over. So I'm going to be nice and say please and thank you, like I was taught to do, just in case the robot overlords do in fact take over. They will know that I have impeccable manners because that's what I was taught. So I said please and thank you to the robot that brought out the Cokes and the Pepsis and the soft drinks. All right. Anywho, so at this time, I usually will open up the floor to questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If you want an astrological reason why your day might have been a little bit hinky, just let me know in the chat, and I will look it up in the AstroBiz Digest. I have it out on my phone right next to me. So I can talk a little bit about the Linestrider Tarot, but like, please feel free to put in the chat. My Monday was weird or my Tuesday was weird. Can you look that up? And I'd be happy to. And once again, thank you to Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, thetarotlady.com. If you would like to pick up the AstroBiz Digest for yourself. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it incredibly helpful in planning both my personal life and my professional life as a tarot reader and a tapping practitioner. All right. So Linestrider's Tarot originally came out in, when was it? 2016? Yes, it originally came out in 2016. Like I said, I did use it 8 years ago, but never did an unboxing for it because I wasn't a live streamer at the time. So I wasn't doing unboxings at the time. So we unboxed it. I believe it was July 3rd. So you can go back onto the Tube of You. For that particular episode, look in the playlist that is called unboxing videos. You can find it there. Or you can look in the workshops videos where we have every single Friday Night Live over the last 6 years. That it would also be there as well. So Linestrider Tarot comes in this lovely box with a magnetic closure. You know, I stand a good magnetic closure. And for more details on the the deck itself, how it reads, how it shuffles, you can go back to that unboxing video. The purpose of this video is when I started to do unboxing videos, I would do the unboxing video, but then I would never do a post-mortem of the deck after the month time that I did the card of the day with that deck every single day. So it's kind of like creating a bookend of this deck where it's just like we have the unboxing video and now we have the recap video at the end of the month. So since it is July 31st, our very last card of the day with this deck was the Empress card, which took me absolutely forever to post. And I ended up finally doing a live over on the gram of Insta, basically doing the card of the day and then posting to my other social media accounts with some of the, I don't know if I posted the entire video. It was very hard to post the entire video because it was about 13 minutes in length. I wasn't just giving the interpretation in those 13 minutes. I was also talking about other things too. But I wanted to be able to provide a closed captioned version of it to put on like the TikTokies. But that took me absolutely forever to upload. So I'm still working out the kinks on my card of the day practice, especially posting it to social media, because like I can't spend hours and hours on it. I just can't. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I want to have my schedule be open for my clients so that I can give one-on-one readings or group tapping sessions, or, like, make myself more available to my clients and not have like the entirety of my day taken up by something that I'm doing for free. Like, I have to be able to balance my time wisely as an entrepreneur. And I just don't think that's a very efficient way to use my time. And I would hope that you guys would agree with that. So card of the day is not going away. It's just I have to approach it differently so that I can make more room in what I think is going to be an increasingly busy schedule with my tarot practice, with my tarot business and with my tapping business, to be able to, simplify to amplify is what I keep on saying. Anyway, so if you want to know more about like the unboxing of the Linestrider Tarot, you can go back to that video. The purpose of this video is the recap of it. So after a month's time working with a tarot deck, what do I like about that tarot deck? What do I not like about that tarot deck? Would I recommend it or not? For me, I think the Linestrider Tarot is a really, really excellent deck. The publisher is Llewellyn. The price of the deck, it's a little bit higher, I would say, than some other tarot decks on the market, at least at the time that it came out. It's $29.99. I'm not sure if that's the price now, but it comes in this really nice box, which includes both the tarot deck and a full-size, full-color guidebook. So I do think it is well worth the price. Is it accessible to beginner tarot readers? I think so, yes. Though the art in each and every card might be a little bit more sparse than you would like if you were just learning tarot. I mean, to each one's own, right? Like, if this artwork speaks to you, then by all means, if you want that to be your first tarot deck, go ahead. And I do think if you are going to have this as your very first tarot deck, you need the guidebook. You need to make sure that you're purchasing it through Llewellyn directly, or making sure that there is a barcode on your box and that it comes with the deck and it comes with this guidebook. Because I really think not every deck is going to come with a very comprehensive guidebook. But in this case, when the artist is also the author of the guidebook, I think that that is preferable to me, so that you can understand and they can explain why they made the artistic choices that they did, why they chose these particular symbols to put on the Fool card, the World card, the Two of Cups, and also the guidebook usually will explain those choices, which I really, really like. So a guidebook is very, very good for the Linestrider's Tarot. I think this might have been the second printing. Oh, okay. So the 3-card and the 5-card spreads, those were designed by the Llewellyn Art Department, but that doesn't mean that it was created by the Llewellyn Art Department. Got it. Okay. So it has about the deck, handling the deck, major arcana, minor arcana, and then each of the suits: cups, wands, swords, and pentacles, and then the conclusion. Now, in the about the deck section, there's a little bit of an explanation of like artistic sensibility and, where they first found tarot as a teenager, meditating on images of the cards, providing focus and guidance and archetypes, history, traditions, community, and then handling the deck, storing your deck. You choose how you want people to handle your deck. If you do want them to handle it, if not, like if you don't want other people touching your tarot deck, like you don't have to. So it's it's a personal preference. And then reading the cards, exaltation of aces, the tower trumps all, reversed versus negative readings. By the way, you don't have to read with reversals. You don't. And then layouts. So the mid-episode reading, I would love to try out. There is a 3-card spread in there, which I do all the time. So I would rather choose to do the 5-card spread, which is something that I don't do all the time, which is a past, present, future. And then you have an additional 2 cards, which is potential on the top and the question on the bottom. So that's going to be the mid-episode reading, methinks. They also have in the guidebook correspondences, astrology, number correspondences, plants correspondences, etc. So what I really like about this particular guidebook, and there are some other tarot artists that will do this in the guidebook, where they do talk about tarot card combinations within each of the cards. Like, for example, I've just turned to the Hierophant card interpretation, and in a reading, present position, it means this, future position, it means this. When it's combined with the Hermit card, it might indicate an organization in your life is taking you away from family or driving you into a state of isolation. If it's combined with the Lovers of the 2 of Cups, it might mean this. Or combined with 8 of Cups, it might mean this. So I really do like that. I do think that is a strength of this deck and its guidebook, is to provide those tarot card combinations. Because I have found as a tarot reader and as a tarot teacher that a lot of my students, when they're just starting out, can get very confused when more cards are added on. So this is the reason why I say to a lot of my tarot students, you got to walk before you run. I know you want to get to the Celtic Cross if like the Celtic Cross is intriguing or appealing to you. It's like, I know you want to get there, but that's a 10 card. Or if you use a significator, which is purposefully choosing the very first card, and it's like separate to the present situation card, that could be 11 cards. That could be an 11 card spread. And if you don't feel confident or solid reading a 2 card combination or a 3 card spread, then, and you don't feel on sure footing with that, then adding in 7 more cards is not going to help the situation. It's probably going to make things a little bit more muddier, a little bit more unclear, and you're just going to end up feeling confused and frustrated. So I usually say like less is more when you're dealing with the tarot and learning the tarot. It's just like you learn the cards one at a time, and then as you start to build your tarot fluency, then you can start to add on cards. But like, and then if you're starting to feel the meanings like slip away, then like take away the cards. Like, don't pull so many cards, because this was one of my pitfalls when I was starting reading professionally, is, you know, the hit me or you know, I would be reading for someone, especially in like public places, especially at like events, and it was like shorter readings, faster clip, and that'll, you know, you want your tarot chops. That is a way to work your tarot chops. So just like next, like high volume. You're gonna sink in and start to find those meetings and enter those cards much quicker, because it's kind of like you have to. It's like a sink or swim scenario. But I would have that problem of another card, pull another card. And so it felt very much like blackjack to me, where it's just like, hit me. It's just like, okay, eventually you're going to go bust if you do that. And the cards will say it too. The tarot cards definitely have a sense of humor, and they definitely have a sense of, bitch, stop asking. So usually when the big bad cards of the tarot come up, it's not a sign to read those cards literally or interpret those. It is a sign of stop asking. Stop asking. We said what we said. We answered the question. No more cards. Pulling more cards is not going to change our answer to the question that you ask. It just doesn't, from my personal humble experience. Okay. So those are some of the strengths of the Linestrider. But It does have, if you are going to use this deck as your very first deck, it is, the Linestrider is what it says it is. It has line work. So like, for example, you do have the Page of Wands here. And there's info there for sure. And it's just like, the closer you look, the more you're going to see the imagery, right? But at a glance, you might not understand why the 10 of Cups is depicted by two birds, one with a funny hat on, you know? So this is the reason why, if you're looking at a non-traditional deck, that the guidebook is very, very important. I usually will recommend to newer tarot readers to use the Rider-Waite-Smith as their first deck, because you have a story in every card, including the minor arcana, ace through 10. And you have that illustration there, so you don't have to memorize. You can just read, like, you can describe what's going on in the card. And then once you've described what's going on in the card's image, then you can bring in, okay, what was the question that you asked? How does this story that I told from the visual fit into that? Or how does my situation change based on this card's imagery? Does that make sense, guys? Let me know. Now, so the imagery is a little bit, more unusual, I would say. So maybe not great for first-time readers, though it definitely has its strength. And if you were called to it, then I'm going to shut up. Like, you do you. If the imagery appeals to you and you feel like this is your deck, then screw what I have to say, because that's your deck. My other con to this deck is it's very shiny. See that right there? Trying to get the glint of the light. Very shiny. Can sometimes be a little too slick. Can also sometimes be a little bit sticky as well. And it's a little thick too. So, like, shuffling this deck, while I can shuffle it, and I'll usually do my overhand method because I have very small hands. If you are someone that likes to bridge your deck or shuffle like rifle or riffle, you're probably going to have a difficult time, and you might end up bending the cards in ways that you might not want to. So I think the cardstock you want to have not too thin, but not too thick either. And I think this is on the more of the thick side than the thin side. You kind of want to have the happy medium there, and I feel like this is a little too thick and a little too slick, and sometimes too sticky. And then the backs are like this. It's got blue, almost like Rorschach-y kind of vibes to it. I think I probably would have liked a different backing to it, but I do appreciate that if you do read with reversals, you cannot tell whether the card is upright or reversed from looking at the back. So that's a strength, not a weakness. But I wish the backs were a little bit prettier. That's just me. All right. Any questions about the Linestrider? Are we ready for the mid-episode reading? Ooh, I think we are. I think we are. All right. So I'm going to put the cards down, and I am going to, let's see. Can we do the picker wheel on here, or can we do it on here? Let's see. I'm gonna try. Picker wheel. So it was either the picker wheel or the wheel of names that I used to use. Oh, no, it was Wheel of Names, guys. Do you remember that? The Wheel of Names, before we had our little lottery jar. Some of the people here are OGs and remember that. So yeah, Katie says whichever works. I'm going to go with the Wheel of Names if it loads. Yes, yes, it does. Cool. All right. So it was the noisy one, whatever the noisy one was. Okay. So usually when we do mid-episode reading, I have, ooh, things are slowing down. I don't know if it's a little bit glitchy for you guys. I think I might have to not do it on here. Hold on. Let me check some things. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Let me close up that tab so I don't have tabbies running. Okay, it seems fine. All right. I can also do it on my phone too. Wheel of Names seems to be the better one. Okay. So what we do for the mid-episode reading, in which one lucky viewer wins a free 3-card reading with me live on the broadcast. In this case, we're going to do a 5-card reading because we are going to try out one of the exclusive spreads that is in the guidebook for this particular deck. And I use 3-card readings all the time. So this 5-card spread is one of CLO Thompson's favorite spreads, and it comes in handy when trying to make a decision or figure out a course of action. So listen carefully if you are in that general area of if you need to make a decision or figure out a course of action. Like, who doesn't? This spread tends to work best when the querent focuses on one specific aspect of their journey rather than making a general inquiry. This card spread can offer more background into the problem and often help the querent understand the various forces affecting the issue or situation in the question. It also provides some insight into possible solutions. There are different ways to arrange the cards. A horseshoe pattern is common, but I use a cross pattern. The center card generally represents the present, the question itself, or the situation you're inquiring about. The card on the left deals with the past and ways in which the past may be influencing you or others in affecting the situation. The card on the bottom represents the motivations that led to the situation or question. Oddly, that card is the one that I frequently find the most helpful. So we're going to pay attention to the question card that is at the bottom here. In Ciolo's view, that is the card that ends up being the most helpful. Why am I asking this question? Where are my doubts and worries coming from? It's a card that's more about understanding yourself and less about what to do. The card on the top depicts the possible outcomes that might come from following a suggested course of action, the potential. Okay. And then the card on the far right indicates the future of the situation. In a relationship reading, for example, you might see a marriage card in the future position or a card that shows heartbreak. This position indicates a natural course that things might take, or it could show the consequences of not resolving the current issues. So it's like a variation on the past, present, future, except you've got 2 more cards. You've got the question, as in like, why am I asking this question? What is prompting me to ask this question? And then the potential is here. Make sense to everybody? Okay. So we are going to be doing this reading using the Linestrider Tarot. And I am going to ask for your participation now. If you would like to enter to win the mid-episode reading, you have to comment tarot into the chat. T-A-R-O-T. And then I will put your name on the wheel of names, and then we will allow the wheel to randomly pick the winner. Sound good to everyone? Yes? All right. So Timmons Gray says tarot. Let me see if I can copy and paste. So I'm going to use usernames here. All right. There's number 1. All right. Any other takers? Because then that's going to be real quick. So it's 7:42 now. I'm going to give it to 7:45. So about 2 more minutes. I'm having regrets about putting a very large ice cube in my bourbon. I think it's watering it down too much. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know, you want a little bit just to like release the flavor of the bourbon, not completely water it down. Do I sound like a snob? Maybe a little bit snobbish. All right, Katie. Katie also said tarot. Okay. Let's see. Chrome tab, Wheel of Names, Share tab audio. Hey, it works. That's pretty darn cool. Okay. Yeah, where is Fran? Katie's like, where's Fran? Because right now it's a 50-50 shot. Okay, we got another minute. We got another minute. We got another minute. It's okay. It's all good. All right, 7:45. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Names. I don't know. I've enabled the sound, so hopefully you guys can hear the spin. I'm not sure if it was Wheel or Names or the picker wheel. Oh, Fran fell asleep. That's okay, Fran. Did you want to enter into the mid-episode reading? Okay. All right. Last call for alcohol. All right. Let's put Fran in there. Okay. So you've got a 1 in 3 chance of winning. All right. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Ready? All right. Let's see. Click to spin or press Control Enter. Let's go ahead and click to spin. Did everyone hear that? Did everyone hear that? All right, Timmons Gray, you are the winner of the mid-episode reading. So go ahead and put your question into the chat, and I will pull 5 cards for your question using the 5-card spread in the Linestrider Tarot. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the Wheel of Names because it has shown its purpose, you know, shown that we have done this in a fair and balanced way. You know, you heard the clapping? Okay, cool. All right. So a reminder, once again, this is going to be a 5-card reading this time around, where we have 1, 2, 3 is past, present, future. And let's see, what's the order here? She doesn't say the order, but I'm going to probably go ahead with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I'm going to pull it. All right. So let me grab my deck. Okay. The question is, and I wish I could display it on screen, but I can't. Question is, I'm going through a period of deep ambiguity right now, and it is very challenging. How best to move forward through this desert while keeping hopes up? All right. So how best to move forward through this desert while keeping hopes up. So I'm just going to explain a little bit about how I do these readings. I will usually give my interpretation of the reading, and then I will go to the guidebook for any further information because I don't want to be unduly influenced by the guidebook. So the only time I'm going to be looking at the guidebook is for guidance on the spread itself, and then after I give the interpretation. Okay. So, how best to move forward through this desert while keeping hopes up? All right. So, past, okay, present, future, question, and potential. All right. Well, there's definitely, okay. So I'm going to interpret as best as I can, but the 5 cards that are coming out right now is past, present, future. Past, present. So past is the Magician card reversed. Present is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And I swear I'm done with seeing this card. I've seen it several times over the last month. And then the Two of Pentacles also reversed as the future position. Now we also have the question card is the Ace of Swords on the base. And we have the Chariot card reversed as the potential. Okay. So the fact that we have 2 cards coming up from the major arcana tells me that there's like, it's almost like there's a little, I can understand it's very challenging. And I can understand the reason why you worded it, how best to move forward through this desert while keeping hopes up, because it feels a little bit dark night of the soul, and it's challenging for a reason. You know, it's just like, it feels like the guidance almost that you've come to rely on has kind of like silenced, you know. And the reason why I'm saying that is like the Magician card isn't necessarily very spiritual. It's not really a Hierophant card, but yet I'm kind of seeing it that way in the past position and reversed, where it's just like the Magician card is a card about like starting before you're ready and you have all of the tools at your fingertips, but you only really need yourself to be able to start. Like, and it's like, it really is the energy of like being a self-starter. But with the reversal, it's just like something that something happened in the past where it's just like the things that normally worked for you aren't working anymore or weren't working anymore. And so that's kind of given a rise to like this like feeling of stagnation going through the desert, not really seeing that oasis in sight. Now, for the middle card, the present situation, you're getting the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And present situation has been kind of like what you've been doing to kind of get yourself out of this rut, because the conventional wisdom is just like, if you are in a rut and it's just like you're doing everything the same and you're not getting out of the rut, it's because you're doing everything the same, and it's like time to do something different. If you want different results, you have to do something different, which is kind of the present position that you're in now, where you're doing that. And it's just like, and there's some movements, but there's just not enough movement. So I can understand that whole how to keep your hopes up when it's just like, I'm doing different things and there is some movement, but not enough movement for me to like feel very hopeful about it. Keep going. Like those micro movements are going to start to snowball and you're going to get more momentum, but it's just like, it's like a very tiny glimmer. So you have to find like, it's a little ember and you have to like blow on the ember so that it becomes a bigger flame, which is kind of a very fiery way of interpreting the Knight of Pentacles reversed, but like I'm going with it. And then the Two of Pentacles as the future, like is everything, if everything proceeds as it is, you've still got that imbalance with the Two of Pentacles. You've still got that feeling of stagnation. It's not moving. You know, what else am I not seeing? Like, I feel like that is the bigger question. What am I not seeing in this? I feel like it came to me for a reason, and it feels like the lesson has come to me for a reason. I feel like I've learned the lesson, but I'm still not getting the movement out of it. So for more guidance, let's take Ciolo's advice and look at that base card of the question, the one that she says tends to be the most helpful out of the reading, which is oddly the card that card is the one that I frequently find the most helpful. Why am I asking this question? Where are my doubts and worries coming from? It's a card that's more about understanding yourself and less about what to do. So it's just like, it's not about what you're doing. It's almost like, how am I seeing myself in the situation? And it's like almost changing how you think about yourself. And it's just like, if I'm not, like, especially with the Magician card coming up reverse, it's just like, who am I? Like, with the Ace of Swords in the question position, it's just like, who am I without that? Is kind of the question behind the question. And the Ace of Swords is like, you still have your intelligence, you still have your wits, you still have your truth and your logic. It's really interesting because the swords, especially the Ace of Swords, is about the truth, the truth, the truth. And that like big ass sword is kind of like hacking through any lies or any confusion. It's just like the truth will, like, it's kind of a card that tells me like the truth will set you free. And it's interesting that this is coming up because I was also looking back on archived card of the days that I pulled over the years. And today's card of the day from a couple of years ago was there's another word for it, but it's basically the truth card from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So I wish I had pulled that up so that I could show you that one. But it's just like, it has that essence of the truth. And it's not just the truth will set you free, but it is that the energy of the truth is something that cuts through everything else. So this situation has almost like brought you to face your most inner self. And there might be parts of it that you might not like, and there are parts of it that you can change, but it is more, this is the question behind the question. If I am not this, then who am I? And that's a question that is a very existential question that we all have as we go through life, especially when things are taken away from us. It's just like, if I don't have this, who am I? What do I do? And it's part of the reason why a lot of us identify with our jobs or our careers so strongly, because it's just like, it's an easy way of defining who we are, but it's not who we actually are. So much deeper than I thought I was going to go, but there you have it. So that's the question position. And then the potential position on top is possible outcomes that might come from following a suggested course of action. So this is the Chariot reversed. And so the Chariot reversed is kind of like, is it advice or is it more of the potential that goes along with the advice? But it kind of is like, you can't outrun it. When the Chariot card, like if the Chariot was coming up upright, I would say like, yes, the movement is there to help guide you, and just like, yeah, move, like be in movement or go from here to here. But like with the reversal, it's almost like the sign of like, you can't run from your problems. Like your problems will follow you no matter how far you go, no matter if you cross the country or cross the world, like you are going to have the same problem if you don't address it head on. So the chat got really, really quiet. So either that means I'm doing a good job or everyone's falling asleep. So that is my interpretation of these cards that are coming up. I'm getting a wow, so I'm going to assume I'm on the right track here. So now what I'm going to do, this is so much to think. Wait, we're not done yet. That is so much to think about. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. We can go more in depth if you'd like. I think you've got a lot to think about without going ahead and booking another reading. But let's also go to the guidebook as well, because the guidebook could give more information as well. Especially with the majors coming up. Like, that's pretty significant that you got some majors going on, where it's just like, it's a very existential kind of feeling that we've got going on. So for the Magician card, which is depicted, again, reverse, it's depicted as a monkey in this particular deck. For me, so this is Ciolo. For me, he manifested as a simian character, clever and capable of making things, able to craft tools and figure out new ways of doing things. He stands between the spirit world and humanity. This card often appears when you need to channel the power of the universe towards your goals. It's a good omen when you have a specific wish. But again, it is coming up reverse, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's more of a miscommunication or a blockage to the energy. So in his reversed aspect, the Magician can indicate that something's blocking your creative energy. Again, this is in the past influences. Or that your power is being directed at something futile or counterproductive to your goals or your growth. Magician is associated with the planet Mercury and carries with it skill, logic, and intellect, in conjunction with the Chariot. So this is something to pay attention to. And this is one of the strengths, I think, of this particular guidebook. In conjunction with the Chariot, especially if one of these powerful cards is in reverse, you may find an increased nigh magical ability to attain the goals you are driving so hard to reach. But beware, this kind of ambition and success can come at a steep cost. So keep in mind that you have had the Magician card come up. You also do have the Chariot as well in your reading. So pay attention that it's just like, again, I don't think it's very far off from what I was interpreting, where it's just like, what was working for you is no longer working. And it's like, here, what is it? Ability to attain goals you're driving so hard to reach, but beware, this kind of ambition and success can come at a steep cost. It's just like, it feels like the very definition of, I got what I wanted, but it's not what I wanted. Like, once you got it, you're just like, oh, this is actually not what I wanted. Or it didn't come to me in a way that it's just like, I thought I would feel differently, and now I don't feel differently. So what is it that I'm actually chasing? So that feels a little like what's going on with the Magician card reversed and the Chariot card reversed. All right, for Knight of Pentacles coming up reversed in the center, Knight of Pentacles is like doing something differently. And I'm pretty sure that's what the guidebook says too, because I'm telling you, Knight of Pentacles has been like haunting us lately. So Knight of Pentacles reversed, stagnation, feeling of not getting anywhere, excessively conservative or stubborn way of looking at things. Investments, employment, or some aspect of your life that you thought was secure and dependable, but is not. In romance, it might represent someone you find boring or overly conservative, or they might be thinking about you as boring and conservative. So it kind of is that indication to change things up a little bit. Not because that's how other people think about you, but because that's how you think about yourself. Two of Pentacles has also come up frequently over the last month. And with the reversal of the Two of Pentacles, it's usually that struggle of the juggle. Hold, please. Yeah, the Two of Pentacles, losing the time management battle. So remember, this is like potential. Sorry, not potential, future. Losing the time management battle is a new venture or financial work concerns keeping you from having a successful romantic or home life, or are you feeling crushed by workload at school or a project that has you doubting your ability to stay on top of everything? You might think that you are balancing everything just fine, but this card lets you know there's some aspect of your life is in neglect and needs taking care of, or needs to be looked at. Now, the base of the question is the Ace of Swords. And that is coming upright, which is lovely. So truth, clarity of vision, can mean deceit or self-delusion, but that's usually in its reverse aspects. Represents the need to approach things with a clear mind and focused intent, seek out facts, truth, the hard data. For now, it's best to set aside your feelings and look at things with a critical eye. This is not always a gentle card. It often pushes you towards uncomfortable truths or forces you to set aside your idealism or fantasies in favor of a more analytical approach. The potential for swiftness and also the mastery of a well-ruled mind. I'm just looking to see if there's any combination for the Ace of Swords that I should be looking at. No? Okay. Several elements depicted on this card represent victory and are generally positive. Every indication is given that success is yours if you can clearly understand and assess the facts. Be honest about your motivations, accept the truth in your situation, and take decisive action. So look at the truth, the question behind the question is basically what that card is asking you to do. And then finally, the potential of the situation is the Chariot reversed, where it's just like running is not going to work. You do have to confront things head on. Come on, Chariot, where are you? There you are. So the Chariot, Chariot shows a strong-willed personality and drive. In its reversed aspects, it warns of tunnel vision and ambition that sacrifices the long-term good for achievement. Think carefully about the things you are pursuing and whether it will bring about greater good in the world and yourself. In my rendition, the somewhat abstract figure of a dove is featured upside down and bound. Yeah, there you go, at the bottom. This symbol is a warning. The gentleness and compassion of your nature may have to be subjugated to achieve your goal. Victory often carries a price. Caution is advised. So there you go. That's your reading from the Linestrider Tarot from that 5-card spread. There is no specific title of that spread, but I really like it. Like, wow, I think I might need to start start using that spread with clients, because I think it really cuts through quite a bit of stuff. You know, I think I'd like it even better than the Celtic Cross, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo. Still lots to consider. Thank you. That was great. You're very, very welcome. Once again, thank you so much for volunteering, all of you. If you did not win the mid-episode reading tonight, that is perfectly okay. We do it every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you didn't win it tonight and you would like to win it or have the possibility to win it, you just have to come back again next week and try again. Or you can book a reading with me at tarotbyhilary.com. I would love to work with you. And thank you to Moans Gray for being the winner of the mid-episode reading and being read for in a public space. It is an act of vulnerability that I don't take lightly. So thank you very much for that. All right. So any questions about the Linestrider Tarot before we move into the weekend forecast, in which we pull a oracle card to get you into the weekend prepared and not scared? By the way, I have decided this is what happened? What did I do the other night? I think I was working with a client. I can't remember if it was working with a client over Zoom or I was doing an email reading. And I pulled an oracle card from oh gosh, it was my big oracle deck that I had combined 2 oracle decks, the Work Your Light and the Starseed, into one mega deck, right? So you guys are familiar with this. Some of the OGs are familiar with this. For some reason, I was having trouble determining which one went with which. And so I'm just like, okay, I got to break it. I think I've got to break this back up into its separate decks, which I went ahead and did. And then when I had my client yesterday, I gave them the choice of, okay, work your light or the Starseed Oracle, and they chose one. And I'm just like, cool, we're going to do that. And so I thought I had pulled from the correct deck, and so I pulled the card, and I'm just like, that is not that is not from the Work Your Light. That's from the Starseed Oracle. So I'm just like, okay, so you're going to get two. Because the wrong guidebook was on top of the wrong Oracle deck. So I'm like, oops, okay, that is not that is not the right deck. So we're gonna pull two Oracle cards for you tonight. So we have here, and it's gonna be audience participation, audience choice. Would you like the Starseed or the Work Your Light? Because I have split them back up into their respective piles, and I just have to find their boxes to put them in for the sake of my organization purposes. So let me know. I'm gonna hydrate or bourbon myself. It's a little bit annoying that it is so warm and humid here because we had some pretty catastrophic rainfall coming down over the last couple of days, and it did not cut the heat or the humidity at all. All right, Timmons Gray says either is good, and Fran says work your light. Okay, so we've got to vote for either or work your light. Katie, tiebreaker, work your light, maybe. Okay, you're the tiebreaker, work your light it is. Let's go for it. And this is definitely work your light. I can tell from the back. All right. What do we most need to know for this weekend? Besides all the good astrology that we got from Teresa Reed, what is the Oracle saying for us? Oh, Fran says, I had too many homemade mojitos. My mother would be first in line for that. She loves mojitos. All right. As usual, annoying, coming for me, maybe coming for you as well. We are getting trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So basically, it's Rebecca Campbell's way of saying, trust your intuition. Why does that sound familiar, guys? So let me pull up the companion book, the guidebook interpretation. Though is pretty, this one is pretty self-explanatory, guys. All right. So trust the niggle from the Work Your Light. That niggling feeling, that annoying niggling feeling, that inconvenience, annoying niggling feeling. Try as you might, it's there, and it ain't going anywhere. Most people spend years ignoring those feelings, throwing their best dollops of stubbornness, ego, and post-rationalization to numb them out. It's exhausting. And until you face it, life just throws you more bait to awaken it, to draw your attention to the light within you that is bursting to come out. The niggle is an arrow pointing to what is standing in your way, the relationship, the conversation, the decision, the shift that needs to be made, the stone in your shoe. Often we feel the feeling in our body first. Many people think that intuition is something from the higher realms, but in fact, it is the body that is the intuitive one, working through our senses to deliver vibrational information. It takes just a moment every day to scan your body to receive the intuitive intelligence and act on it quickly. You are being called to face the niggle now. If you don't face it, the universe will throw something much bigger and more obvious in your path. And then you will likely regret that you didn't answer the niggle in the first place. I know it's scary, but you are safe. Answer it now. What is it trying to tell you? So Yeah, that card. Yes, Katie, that card is mean to overthinkers. There is another card, and I'm not sure if it's in Work Your Light or Starseed Oracle. I think it's in Work Your Light. That is also very, very mean. And that card is called Baby Steps. Yeah, I think the Baby Steps card is in the Starseed, and it's basically like asking you to those trust your intuition, trust the breadcrumbs, even and especially when it doesn't make sense. Like oftentimes, intuition can be counterintuitive because it's intuitive, it's not logical, you know. And so this particular card, to me, it is like the High Priestess tarot card when it's reversed, where it's just like the reminders of every time I didn't trust my intuition, I ended up being burned in the butt for it. That's kind of what I'm getting here with this, where it's just like the whispers will become screams. So you might as well address the whispers of your intuition before they become screams. Yeah. Fran says that card is like a speaker at the drive-through. Yeah. Would you like fries with that? All right, that is your weekend forecast from the Work Your Lights. As I've stated before, we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and let's hope upon hope that we get our cute little lower thirds and polished back again next week. And if we don't, this is just going to have to do because I'm going to go crazy. And I don't want to go crazy, and I don't think you guys want me to go crazy. So I'm going to be the consummate professional that I am, and still present even if we're bare bones. So once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition, and I've gone ahead and put my website into the chat if you want more information about me, or if you want to book a reading, or if you want to read one of the many, many articles I have on many different metaphysical subjects. You can go ahead and check that out on my website. Have a wonderful weekend as well, Katie and Timon's Gray and Fran and Dina and whoever else is watching that might be watching the replay. Have a good weekend to you too, and I will see you all next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully we are back to live streaming again in 2 places. But if not, you can always find me on the 2 of you. Bye.